Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. I heard that Daf Yomi is doing Bava Kama now, so I guess it's nice that we're staying on Bava Kama. Probably a few weeks before Daf Yomi gets there, but it's Kedai. You should remember the deeper pshat of the Mishnah, so that it's not just a blur and chap a bigger gishmak in pshat and Mishnah. Anyone who's learning Bava Kama seriously, they read the Mishnah anyways. They should chap that there's something needs more in. It's quite a famous Mishnah because it's the first Mishnah in Shlosh Nagach. There's two cases of the Mishnah, Reisha and Seifa. The Reisha talks about a shar, an ox that gores a para, which is a cow, and the cow has a vlad inside of it. For sure, until the moment of the negicha, until the moment of the goring, the vlad was inside of the para. But we're not sure if the vlad was there inside of the para before the moment of impact, before the moment of the negicha, of the goring, or if it was born after and it died or it was damaged for some reason because of the goring itself. So that's the first case of Mishnah. It's a stam Mishnah. Doesn't say who's. It just says shar shenagach is a para, an ox that gores a cow. V'nimtza over b'tzida, they find the calf lying beside the mother. They don't know if it was born before or after the negicha, or after the goring. So the Mishnah Paskins, Mishalim Chatzi Nezek l'para, you pay Chatzi Nezek for the para, which is, anyone who knows anything about Bava Kama knows that Chatzi Nezek is what a tam, any animal that does something violent to a different animal or even to a person or to property, you pay Chatzi Nezek, which means half damages. And that's what the Torah says. That's a chayk of the Torah Paskins, that you pay half damages for an animal 3 times, 4 times for the damages of a tam. So that's why the Mishnah Paskins, you pay Chatzi Nezek for the para, for the cow. But then the Mishnah says something that should make someone swivel their head and try to figure out why the Mishnah is saying this. Mishnah says, Revi Nezek l'vlad. You pay a quarter damage to the vlad. So anyone who's learning Bava Kama, they think for a second, like, well, what is Revi Nezek? I've never heard of Revi Nezek. If you're learning Bava Kama for all the way up to the 5th parak, and you could have done a lot of dafim on the daf, it's on daf above, which is 46 daf, and you never heard of such a thing called Revi Nezek. We never heard of such a thing. So the Mishnah continues and it flips the case around, and it says, let's say the cow gored the ox, and then we found the calf, we found the vlad lying next to the para or whatever. It's walking around. It's totally fine because it wasn't damaged. It did the damaging together with its mother. So the Mishnah Paskins, similarly like the Reisha, it says that you pay Chatzi Nezek from the vlad, from the cow, from the para, and you pay Revi Nezek from the vlad. So there's something that everyone has to know if they want to know what's going on, which is that there's something that's been in Bava Kama that a tam, aside from paying Chatzi Nezek, aside from paying half damages, you also pay from the guf, from the actual animal itself. If the animal is worth less than Chatzi Nezek, so all you're going to get is the worth of the animal. It's a little more complicated than that, but for the purpose of the Shulchan Torah, that's all everyone has to know. So right away, the Gemara gets involved with who is the author of the Mishnah, who's the Mechaber. The Gemara says that Amar Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, Zu Devrei Sumchis. It's the words of Sumchis. Sumchis is a das yachid in Shas. There's a famous machlokes in Shas, comes up all throughout the Zikin, and really it impacts everything in life. Anytime you have a machlokes between 2 different people, anytime you have a shiloh of who owes money to who or whatever, any tort essentially, any tort that would come to a court, so then the chachamim, every single rav, every single chacham, and all the tanaim, they paskin that if someone is holding onto a piece of property, mashal, I'm wearing my suit jacket right now, I'm wearing my hat, my tie, so no one could come and say that this tie is mine, right? So if someone would want to take the tie away from me, they would have to bring Eidim and Edim is what is the highest class possible. It's called a raya. A raya with a capital R, resh, which is we kill people with a raya. If someone's Mechal Shabbos, we kill them with a raya. So you have to bring Edim. You can't just come up with a geschmack excuse. It's also more complicated than that. I'm in the Yeshiva right now is learning Shnaim Eichsin, which is, this is sort of we're going into the back door of this machlokes. Shnaim Eichsin is the front door of the machlokes between Sumchus and Rabbanan. Sumchus says something like very fascinating. So he totally argues on the Chacham, he totally argues on the Rabbanan, and Sumchus paskins that no, Mammon Hamutal B'Safik Chalkin. If you have Mammon, if you have any kind of dispute between two parties about who gets to keep a certain amount of money, so Sumchus paskins that Mammon Hamutal B'Safik Chalkin. You split the money. In the case of a dvar d'mamayna, that's what the Chazal call a dvar d'mamayna. Dvar d'mamayna, I asked my Rabbein a few days ago, 2 days ago, what is the exact type of drara? I'm not exactly sure what the exact type of drara is, but the concept is that if the people who are fighting over the money would not say anything, and they would just stand there, and the Bezdin would look on at the people, and they wouldn't say their kindness, they wouldn't say what their complaints and their kindness, so Bezdin would see a suffix on its own merits. There would be a suffix, there would be a doubt existing about who owns this money. For example, if two people are holding onto a talus, that itself is a suffix, because if two people are holding onto something, it's not like my tie, no one else is wearing my tie, I'm wearing my tie, right? So if two people are holding onto a tie, so they're both mufzakim on the tie, they both have a hold on a tie, and unless they have edim, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to either split the tie, which is what the Mishnah passes over there, but that's not, that Mishnah over there, Shai Meichson, is not actually Sumchus Ein Sham, if you want to understand, fine. So Yehuda says B'Shem is ready. Shmuel, he says this is Sumchus. But this is a great rule in all of judging money cases. Someone who wants to come and take money away from his friend, so he has to bring a proof. He has to bring a raya. So I think I'm just gonna. There's a machlekes Abai and Rava. I don't know if I'm gonna get into Abai. It's already whatever. Abai is not what I want to say on, but Abai is very geschmack in its own rights. Mara asks, like, the question we started off with right in the beginning, which is, what is Chatzi Nezek? Mara says, Chem Para, Shenachas Ashar. It says, Chatzi Nezek, Revi Nezek. Palga Nizka, Hu Devay Shlume. Hu Nizka, Nechi Riva, Ma'evrite. Mara is basically saying that he owes the person half damages. You owe half damages, so what does 3/4 of a half damage do anything? Palga Nizka, Kuli Nizka, Nechi Riva, I'm sorry, not 3/4 of entire damage. What does 3/4 of the entire damage do anything? We never heard of such a thing before. Basically, that's what Mar says. Omer Abai says a case that really we're talking about Shutfin. I don't want to get into it now because whatever. Yeah, I can get into it, but I don't want to keep everyone. Have to stay awake to the end. We get to Rava. Rava says an interesting case. Rava says, what's the case of the Mishnah? The case of the Mishnah is where the para is missing. So in other words, when the Mishnah says you pay Chatzi Nezek from the para, it means that if the para is around, so then just take what you owe, 50% from the para. Take 50% from the para. But if you less of the para, it says less of the para, Mishtalam Revi Nezek min Vlad. You pay Revi Nezek from the Vlad, from the calf. So obviously, let's just chazer quickly. Rav is talking in Sumchus. Sumchus holds Mamon Mutal B'Safik Chalkin. You split the value of whatever money is Mutal B'Safik. So I'm going to ask Ayla Michelle, there's a bunch of up and coming here, you don't have to answer, but just to pose it as a question. The Mishnah is very geschmack if the the Vlad, if the calf is worth exactly b'diuk the value of Chatzi Nezek. But if it's not worth Chatzi Nezek, so then you have to start judging what taka is the Richtig Pshat in the Mishnah. So I'll ask you as follows. Let's say Chatzi Nezek is 100, which means Nezek Shalom, full damages is 200, Chatzi Nezek is 100. So let's say the value of the Vlad is 100. So it's simple. Quarter damages, quarter of 200 is 50. So that would be easy to answer. Right? When the Mishnah says Revi Nezek, so then it's easy, 50. But let's say the vlad is not worth 100. Let's say the vlad is worth less, not more or the same value as chatzin nezek. Let's say it's worth less than chatzin nezek. Let's say it's worth 80. So when I was preparing this guru, I asked a bunch of people. You get many different answers. You get 20. You get 25, 17.5. I don't know. Some things are more creative than others, but the two most valid numbers are 50 and 40. Why 50 and 40? Because, again, when you have money that's placed in doubt, chalkin. Sumkas paskins, that you split the money. So what's placed in doubt? Is the actual fact that there was a goring that took place placed in doubt? No. Let's say the two people who were witnesses were Chaim Kanievsky and Abraham Leib Steinman. No one's going to question their edus. There wasn't a gicha. So the money that's owed for chatzin nezek is 100% solid. No one's going to argue on that. In fact, there's a 400-year-old Achron, Moshe Kazis. He's somewhat famous. If you learn him from Shabbos and he comes in Shabbos, it's not. They don't learn him in yeshiva so much, but very chashuv Achron. He says about this Mishnah. So he says that there are edim on the negicha. No one is saying that is multiple safek. No one is saying that that's a doubt. Rather, it must be that the vlad is worth, the calf is worth equal to chatzin nezek. Which comes out very interesting to say that every single case in the Mishnah is talking about chatzin nezek, where chatzin nezek is worth the vlad. I don't know if I'm So the true answer is that if it would be worth 80, if the vlad is worth 80, so then you would pay 40. Why? Because the vlad is worth 80. The vlad is what's mutter b'safek, not the chayv of chatzin nezek. So mainly you split the vlad, which you would end up with 40. So it comes out very interesting that the Mishnah is dafka where the vlad is worth, according to Ramesh Kazis, that the Mishnah is dafka where the vlad is worth exactly the price of chatzin nezek. And most people in the Mishnah, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I never heard anyone say that. Revi'ah nezek basically, according in the Sefer of the Mishnah, is dafka when the vlad is worth exactly chatzin nezek. Only problem is Rashi says, and the first Rashi on Zayin Badalf, Rashi says, "Va'afilu shava vlad kol pagamiska," which, if anyone knows that read Rashi, that sounds exactly the opposite of Ramesh Kazis. Because Rashi says va'afilu means even if the vlad would be worth all the pagamiska, that makes it sound that the vlad could be worth. That probably we're talking about a vlad's worth less. I spoke to Rashi about it. He said that it could be in certain cases that va'afilu means va'afal pi. I spoke to Chashuv Shalmish in Yeshiva. He said that it could be va'afal gav, that even though that the vlad is worth the equivalent of all pagamiska. If the Baruch want to ask how the other tzad fits in better with Reb Chaim's vort and stencils, I don't want to keep them waiting, but yeah.